Welcome back, fellow flowers. I'm going to be showing you how to make the cat head keychain today. For those of you who are new here, my name is Violet and I am a fiber artist and keychain designer with a passion for craft lace. You may know them as Gimp, Lanyard, Boondoggle, or Scoubidou, but whatever you call them, I am here to show you how to make them. So if you love craft lace and weaving as much as I do, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get weavy with it and let's make this cat head. So the first thing that you're going to need in terms of your materials are two colors of Gimp. And with this keychain, I'm going to be pretty much sticking to the box stitch with this. So if you already know how to do the box stitch, you are already halfway there. Gather two pieces of string that are 60 inches long. The first step, oh man, I dropped it. The first step is to find both ends of your strings. So I have both ends like so, and I'm going to put all of the ends in my hand like so. And I'm just going to pull, I have my pointer finger in the middle of the strands, and I'm just going to go until I find the midpoint there. So that's where my midpoint is. So I'm going to release the ends here, and I'm going to be working right here from the center. So looking at that center point of our strings, I'm going to form an X over my finger like so. And my goal here is to start the box stitch. So I'm making a loop around my pointer finger. So I have that brown string and I just wrapped it around my finger, and then I have the black string passing underneath those. Now from here I'll grab this black string that's kind of coming out downwards and towards me, and I'm going to weave over this first loop, this first brown loop, and then I'm going to go underneath the second brown loop, which is further away. So over this one here and underneath this one. So I will pass right underneath there, and then I will pull the slack through. And next I will grab the other side of that black strand, and I want to pass over the loop closest to it and underneath the brown loop over here. And now I can remove my finger, and I will pull this tightly together. And now I have a box stitch which has been started. I'm just going to quickly make sure that all of my strings are even, and it's looking like I'm good to go. So the next step is to flip this over. And you'll notice I didn't really tighten this like to its full potential. I left it a little bit loose and then I flipped it over. And this will help us down the road when we start doing our, when we bring the two ends of our cat head together. So I'm going to be doing more box stitches in this direction. So I've formed my two loops with the black strand, and then I am weaving these side brown strings over and under those two loops, just like how we started it. And then I can pull this tightly together, and I'm going to make 30 stitches here. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to when I have done those 30 stitches. So here is what it is looking like after a couple of minutes of weaving. And if you want to count your stitches and check to make sure that you have, in fact, 30 stitches here, I will bring something which has been my total favorite recently. I've been loving this little hammer, like, charm. It's perfect for helping me count, but you can use a pen or just eyeball it. But we're going to make sure that we have 30 stitches here. So using the butt of this little hammer, we're going to count. We have 1, our upside down stitch, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So now we are ready to turn our lanyard, and this is going to help us create that first little ear on our cat. Now to give you a quick idea of what we are going for here, just want to draw it out really quickly. Here is where I'm starting the cat head, and I'm going to be finishing it over here. So you'll see that to make the ears, we're doing like a series of 90-degree turns, which is what we're going to be doing next. Now, to do a turn, we have to face the lanyard in the direction that we want to turn. So for me, I want to have the brown color on the inside and then the black on the outside. Now, if you do a twisty version of this, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so I'm going to be turning in the direction of my brown color, so that way that can be on the inside. So you'll see that first, I'm going to form a loop with the strand that is facing me. So I want to turn in this direction, and there's a string that's kind of sticking out at me already going in this direction. So I'm going to make a loop with that one and just kind of hold it against the side of the body. And then with the other side of that strand, I'll wrap underneath and around it. So underneath this black strand on the side, and then kind of up and over to form 2 loops like this. And now I'm ready to weave my side strings. And so the string that's closest to this brown one is this black. So it's going to cross over that close loop and underneath this one over here. And then we will do the reverse of that using the other black strand. So once we've pulled all that slack through, we'll pull the other side. So finding the end of this black strand, and we'll cross over the first brown loop and underneath the second one, which is farther away over here. And now you'll see that it kind of looks like I have my box stitch on the side of my lanyard. And I'll pull this all tightly together like so. Now, if you want to check and make sure that your lanyard looks correctly, it should look something like this, where now it looks like we have our strands kind of coming off of the side of the lanyard. And if you did that, then you know that you did it correctly. And we're good to start making our box stitches in this direction. So we're just going to form the 2 loops like we would normally do, and we'll weave those side strands over and under those loops in this direction. So I want to do 10 stitches here, so I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and we'll do another turn. And after those 10 stitches have been formed, here's what you should kind of have. And we'll get our handy dandy hammer here, and we can do a quick count. So there's where we did the turn, and then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we want to turn again to form the little point of our cat ear. And so for that, I'm going to turn in, like, I'll turn in this direction, kind of coming down like that. So again, to do a turn, we need to face the lanyard in the direction that we want to turn. So turn all the strings towards you, and it should be the same color that you start off with as you did last time. So I'm going to start with this brown string here, just like I did before, making a little loop against the body. And then for the other brown string, it wraps around and over the rightmost string. And then for this black string on the right, we'll cross over and under. And then for the black string on the left, this one will also cross over and under like so. And then we can pull this tightly together, and we'll do 10 more stitches. And then we'll go for another turn. And by now you may be realizing that this lanyard is pretty much like all turns. And here we go. You can see that we have our first ear formed, and now we need to work on making the top of our kitty head. So I need to do another turn, you guessed it. And to do that, we will do the same procedure where we turn the lanyard towards us. So I'm going to look at this side right here, but I'm going to kind of flip this over so it's easier for me. So now I'm going to make my 2 loops. So making a loop with this one, bringing this one around the side for the strand that's passing backwards. It needs to like come up and around the side, and then we can weave our 2 side strings over and under those 2 loops. So pass over the loop closest to it and underneath the loop which is further away, and we'll pull this tightly together. And then for the top of our kitty head, once we have done our turn, we need to do 20 stitches. So just 20 straight gimp stitches in this direction, and then we will go for yet another turn. Okay, so now I have a bit of a cat forming, and I am going to be ready to make another ear. So you can kind of see that, you can kind of see which direction you're going to need to turn based off of where your other ear is at. So I need to turn outwards, and so I will make my 2 loops going in this direction now. And over and under. And then this one over and under. And we can pull this tightly, and just like we did before, we'll make 10 more straight stitches and then go for another turn. Okay, so I just need to finish up making my last little pointed ear here. So you can see that now I need to turn towards the left, which is in this direction. So I'll face the lanyard towards me once more, making those 2 loops against the side of the body. Again, hold the lanyard in the direction that you want to turn and make your 2 loops there. And then just weave your side strings over the loops closest to them and underneath the loops which are further away. And then you can pull this all tightly together. And again, we're going to do 10 more stitches just to complete that other side of the ear. And then we'll be all good to go. And just a reminder, I will have all of the pattern details down below in the description box if you want to check that out. Okay, so here is my second ear, and you can see that from here I need to do one last turn to form the other kind of cheek side of my kitty cat. So I need to come in this direction. So I will turn the lanyard towards me, and we'll make our 2 loops one more time. And then if you remember in the beginning we started off with 20 stitches. So after I do this turn, I'm going to go for 20 more stitches, and then we will join the 2 ends together using the seamless circle technique. So here we go. This is kind of the last step before you are joining, is to just make sure that both ends of your cat are even. So you can do a little test run and fold it together and see if it's got the shape that you want. If not, you can add a couple more stitches to make it kind of like a little fluffier cat head, or you can take some stitches off if you want to make it tighter than this one. But I am happy with this, so I'm going to join it here. And what I find makes it really easy to do this step is to actually trim all of the ends of your string to be kind of pointed in a triangle like this. So go ahead and do that for all of your 4 strings. And then we are going to do the seamless circle kind of joining method. So for this, go ahead and grab both ends of the lanyard. And if you remember, we flipped our lanyard upside down when we were starting. So you should be looking at something like this. Now, I want to line up my string. So check the right hand string. So in my left hand, I have the string on the right, which is this brown string. And you should make sure that this aligns with the black the little pocket directly across from it. Now, if that little pocket on the right hand side is in the bottom left position, then you just need to do 1 more stitch to make sure it's lined up. But I am good to go because my string here lines up with this spot right here. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck that string like right underneath the little loop of the other side. So you should see that it needs to come straight across like so. And next I can grab this black string on the bottom, and I will tuck it under this one right here. So just feeding it underneath. And if it's giving you some trouble, I'll grab this little hammer. You can use a safety pin or a bobby pin to just get underneath there and to loosen up the stitch and give yourself some room if that stitch is a little bit too tight. And that should help it go underneath. But like that, we'll just insert it right underneath. And now this string is, you'll see it's not completely flush and it has like a twist to it. So I just want to fix that. I want to take that twist out so that way it can be flush. So I'm just going to mess with it for a sec, see if I can even that out. And you know what? I actually ended up just pulling it out and redoing it because it was giving me a little bit of trouble. So I redid it and I reinserted it, and you'll see that my string is now flush. There are no kinks or twists in it. So then I can grab the brown from the left-hand side, and we're going to insert it over here on the right in this bottom position. And I need to actually pull it through these 2 strands here because I want there to be a string going in every direction. And you'll see what I mean in a second. But the last step is I will grab this black string on top, and you'll see that my little pocket is actually back here. So I kind of need to move the strings out of the way to get underneath there. And I'll gather my little hammer tool again just to open it up because I just from looking at it, I can tell it might be a little bit difficult. So just loosen it up a little bit. And now I will make sure that's good. Now I can gather the black strand here and insert it right underneath there. And for this one, we want to make sure it goes straight across, so I'm going to need to feed it through the 2 strands here. So I'm just going to go underneath this brown loop and just straight across like so. And you'll see that my other black string is kind of crossing on top of it, so I need to push that through the brown and black next to it as well. So I will just move that black string in between those 2 strands there, just right through here. Oh, if it'll listen to me, just right through there. And now you'll see that we have a strand going in every direction. And that is how you know that you are good to pull this together, because it should feel like you're just tightening a regular stitch now. So we'll pull it all tightly, and you'll see that the seam kind of disappears, which is a fun little effect of this seamless technique. Now, if you want, before you do all that, you could have inserted a key hook onto it, but if you want to put a key ring, not through the whole thing, but instead you want to put it on the ear, here's how you would do that. You'll see we have the little loop where we did a turn, and you can just stick it right on there. And I recommend giving the strings a couple of minutes to rest before you trim them off, just because if the tension is going to loosen up on you, you don't want the whole thing to fall apart. So allowing it to just sit for a second before you cut it will kind of help prevent that. But since I'm doing a video, I'm going to cut it all now, and I'm just going to leave a little bit of extra on there. But if you let the strings rest, then you can try to get a little bit closer to the body. But yeah, we're just going to finish it by just trimming off the slack. And that's all there is to it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspires you to unleash your whimsical nature and make something really fun. I'd love to see your spin-offs of this, so as always, tag me in whatever you make. And thanks, keep blooming, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.